NSA is live. Copying the URLs. Bear with me while I set up this on-air coaching session. I'm trying to discover if there is a better way to pick up the URLs for the online session. It's giving me a URL which is... Oh, it's not giving me a URL at all. Okay, that's interesting. What happens if I copy and paste the link from the top of the page? Nothing happens if I copy and paste the link. Ah, it's giving me a Facebook reference. That's not gonna work. Nice try, nice try. So, let's go back to dragging out the URL and adding that in to the pages to let people know that NSA is live. Counting down about 1 minute to today's session starting. This is because this is a desktop. It's not coming from my mobile because my mobile doesn't have a live option yet. How weird is that? It's just the way that it goes, I suppose. Someday, one day in the future, my phone might add a live button. And the information is out there and coming into view is Native Speakers Academy live session. The information is out on the internet. So it's Monday. It's Monday the 11th of July 2016. And it's a beautiful day outside. Beautiful day means the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and there's a light breeze blowing. So, Native Speakers Academy is a small private language school based in Banska Bystrica, beautiful Banska in central Slovakia. We are a holistic education center, and our focuses are teaching the English language and life coaching. So these live sessions are extra online sessions for the students of Native Speakers Academy to join in live or to, well, pick up later on and review. These sessions grow out of the work that is done between the students in the school and myself, the director. So what is happening today? Well, the first thing I want to do is mention, as I did, the weather. And people always seem to like to comment about that here, which is interesting because sometimes I don't even notice. I don't even notice what the weather is like because I'm working. I'm grinding away. I'm inside. I'm doing my thing. And sometimes I just don't even notice because if it rains or the sun shines, I still have to do my job. Of course, I noticed that, the garden needs water from time to time, so it's probably hasn't rained for a while, but I'm not really making my weather the focus, because if you let weather become the focus, you start to let your environment control your life. And that kind of is an environmental factor that affects people without them really knowing it. For example, if you take Scotland, where I come from, where it's in the back of my mind, it seems to have rained almost every day. And there's very little large variation in can I say little, large variation? There's not a great variation in climate between summer and winter, especially if you live near the coast. And it's because the water seems to keep the air temperature in winter a little bit warmer and the air temperature in summer a little bit cooler. Anyway, you don't worry about the weather if you live in Scotland because you know it's going to be pretty bleak, dismal, even abysmal anyway, which is why they do a great business selling raincoats and Gore-Tex all-proof weather gear so that people can hike mountains even though they can't see anything when they get to the top. So, yay. That's what makes us all hardcore. And then you have countries like Slovakia where people are never satisfied. Summers are too hot, winters are too cold, and there's very little in between. Like spring is this, oh, 1 week is here and then it's gone. And autumn is, oh, are the trees changing? Oh my God, what's that? 12 feet of snow. So um, there's like 2 seasons here. Um, so I don't really focus that much on the weather, although I guess it's a nice introductory subject for talking about something or anything or communicating with people. Of course, there are the classic examples that the British people love to talk about the weather because it changes so often and it's such a impersonal topic. Whereas I've heard from different sources that American people like to talk about geography because it it again is a pretty neutral subject. So why do people want to talk about neutral subjects? To be polite. Are neutral subjects polite? Aren't they just a way of passing general conversation without really exchanging any information? Well, that's polite. That's just being nice. There was an Elliot Hulse video that he posted online about being nice. He said that nice was violence against yourself. And that when you're nice, you tend to go around pleasing other people rather than getting things that you want done for yourself. I can't help but think that there was some truth in that. That nice tends to be conforming to what other people like rather than helping yourself take steps forward. Anyway, talking about taking steps forward, today begins the Native Speakers Academy and EDIS summer course this evening. If you're interested in conversation and communication, there's still time to join. Just drop us a line and you can join into our advanced conversation class. There are also other courses that we're running for intermediate and beginners through summer. So if you are interested in not letting the summer go to waste, not letting those skills drop off, use it or lose it, then get in touch with us. Get in touch with us. I know you want to be outside. You can be outside during the day. You can come and chill out with us in the evening. I know you want to be in the sun. I took the kids to the local water park, Aqualand, kind of place with fun activities, which is nice. And I know a lot of people don't like that local place here, and there's a billion places you can go in Slovakia: aqualands, aqua parks, fun parks, water parks, spas, relaxation places. Although I'm not sure that if you have kids you can ever really relax, but never mind. I don't know if you're Slovak and you're watching this, what's the best park? What do you think? Where's the best place to take your kids? What would you recommend? Because although there's a variety of things to do here in the park in Banska Bystrica, one of the real reasons that I like the place is the trees. And that might be a strange thing to like it for, but the trees provide a really nice natural shade, and it's just nice to put your blanket on the ground next to the trees and be able to chill out, and you've got a little hill. You can sit on the hill and you can look down at the kids playing in the water, and you can watch the people walking up and down, and you can just soak in the atmosphere. They've also got they got lots of little activities. For the kids, they got the aquasorbing and the little play park, and there's boats, and there's a mineral pool, and there are one, two, three little slides, and there's one big slide for adults, and there's a heated pool. Well, it's supposed to be heated. I'm not sure that it was heated last time we were there, but you know the best time to go? The best time to go is when the weather is not perfect, because Slovaks, right? Don't get me wrong, it's not a criticism, it's just an observation. And the observation is that Slovaks love the sun. If the sun is shining, they've got a huge smile painted on their face, and they're as happy as little fluffy bunny rabbits. But if the weather's not so good, they just don't go out. They don't go anywhere. You know, Slovakia was the first country in which, grammar point, in which I had the experience of someone calling me and saying, "Hey, are we still meeting?" Yes, why? Oh, it's raining. And I'm not the only person to have had this experience. I know many people who have had this experience, many foreigners here. So, so if you go when the weather is not perfect, then there's nobody there, which makes you wonder how they can afford to run a park like that. Maybe they just don't pay the workers. Maybe the workers only get paid when people turn up. Or maybe they just kick people kick people out and send people home, as happened to us at the weekend. So, they've also got like an inline kind of rollerblading area that people can use. Kids pools, bad food, chips and ice cream. Why they always serve bad food in these places? Beats me. So, did I mention the zorbing, the aquazorbing? My kids did that at the weekend. It was kind of fun. So, there's enough things to keep people busy and entertained, and children will always have fun if there's water around. So that's nice. So, I mean, what do you look for when you take kids somewhere? What is it that you're interested in? What do you want to be there for the kids? They've also got, just remember, they've also got a place to play football and a place to play beach volleyball, and there must be something else that I've missed. A pirate ship with a restaurant in it that nobody ever uses because people have to walk to get there, and it's just like, oh my God, walking? Why should I walk anywhere? You know, the woman at the gate was reminding us as we went in that that you don't get your money back if it rains. Like, why would I want my money back if it rained? I mean, that's the idea that somebody would complain and say, I want my money back because I came to the park and it rained, is ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous, actually. But I guess there are people like that. One of my friends is the marketing person. I don't know what to call them. Marketing person. They work in marketing for one of the holiday parks here in Slovakia, and they were telling me that I wouldn't believe the number of things that people complain about. We want our money back because of this. We want our money back because of that. We want our money back because there's a cloud in the sky. We want our money back because we can't find a place to sit down because there's too many people here. Well, that's what happens when you go where all the people go, when all the people go there, isn't it? So, go when the weather is not so great. You just have to pack an extra towel to make sure that you wrap up and keep warm after you come out of the water. Oh, the water's too cold. Oh, God, I was at this park a few years ago, and there was thermal water, and someone was complaining that the water was not exactly the right temperature. and the lifeguard had to come with a thermometer and put it in the water and prove to someone that the water was the actual temperature that they said it was. I wish people would be unsatisfied about important things rather than not important things. People seem to want to complain about things that they can't change or that nobody can change rather than focusing on anything of any importance whatsoever. I don't know. And then there was a little bit of rain the other day. It was a little bit of rain. Half the people left the park. It was like 5 minutes of rain. And then the sun came out and burned the wet grass dry in about 30 seconds. So, it's odd. It's odd the way that people cast their values on the things around about them. And, 1,000 people, 1,000 different tastes, isn't it? That's what they say. So values. That's what I wanted to get to today, which has only taken me far too long to get through this little introduction. So I wanted to address students and educators. Oh, by the way, the school has a website. It's nsa-slovakia.com, where you can find all of the relevant information about what the school does and all of the relevant contacts. Basically English language learning and life coaching. If you've got a business, want to know how to get your business to the next level, if you'd like to talk through anything that's going on in your world, if you'd like to improve anything, then we can work on that, because language is the base. The way that we communicate through language is just a window to the deeper needs of the human soul. And I don't want to get into that today, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere. You listen carefully to what people say. Very often their words are not what they are communicating to you. Anyway, values. I have a problem with value. How do you value anything? How do you know the worth of anything? Do you know how they say in songs you only miss something when it's gone? It's not the way that it works. What's that saying? Most people know the price of everything but the value of nothing. Most people know the price of everything but the value of nothing. Do you understand? The value of nothing. How do you value something? Now, I've talked before a little bit about if something is useful on a day-to-day basis, then if you're going to use it every day, it has great value, it has great worth in your life. It can be applied in a realistic way. And the value system that we have in life very often relates to money. For example, how much you're worth, how valuable you are is how much you get paid. Now this is ridiculous because most people who work very hard don't get paid in values to that work. And I'm talking about people who work long hours in factories. Oh yes, well they're not doing brain work, so they're just doing manual work, so we don't need to pay them so much because they wouldn't know what to do anyway if we left them on their own, and they would just cause problems if we didn't give them something to do, and they don't know what to do by themselves, and it all goes back to Calvinism and the basic principles of business or busyness, keeping people busy, putting people on the bus to get them to the busy place so that they can work on their busyness and stay occupied in their body and mind so that they don't cause too many problems for the thinking social elites in society. Anyway, how do you judge your worth? I learned the other day that somebody doing the job that I'm doing in a more civilly advanced Western culture, can I say that? Will get, let's see, 100%, 200%, 300%, 500, 600, 700, 800, about 900 to 1,000% more pay for doing the same job that I do today. In fact, I learned last week that there are local people who are less qualified than me, with less experience than me, and less knowledge than me, charging more than twice as much as me for the sessions that I run. More than twice as much. Can you believe that? And they get paid it. They get paid. A few weeks ago, a student said to me, "Oh, but you charge too much." You have no idea. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. So value is of essential importance. Because how do you value yourself? How do you price yourself? How do you price yourself in the modern world? Where do you put yourself on the scale, on the price scale? Do you start at the bottom and work your way up, or do you have a higher value for yourself and then work towards that goal? I mean, how much are you worth? Are you worth only what people will pay you, or is it worth working at being worth more than that? Can you increase your worth? How do you increase your worth? Do you study? Do you work at your trade or your craft or your business? Do you provide a better service? Do you owe you enough to charge what you're really worth? How much do you owe you? What is the value of something? I mean, do people in general have a problem paying more for something which is better? I mean, better cars are more expensive. Better technology is more expensive. Better quality of clothes are more expensive. People don't seem to have a problem with those kinds of values. The value system comes into question when it comes down to people and their worth. So my student client said that I should charge double what I charge. Double. Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right doing that. But then the school has 100% capacity through the 2 terms. There are no spaces for new students. Now is the summer, so we've got a half timetable through summer, and clients drift off and take holidays and do their own thing, which is understandable because of the sun, right? It's understandable because of the sun. Why not? Get outside, do stuff. That's why we've got Native Speakers Academy Strength Camp, which is a special course that we're running through the summer to encourage students to get out and experience not only using language in real time, but experience getting your mind and body in tune with each other. This involves swimming in lakes, jogging up hills at your own pace, walks through the forest, dips in cold water, visits to spas, enjoying the Slovak countryside, just getting out, getting into a new environment, giving yourself a new experience. Pushing yourself to do something that you regularly would not do. Giving 120%, as they say. So what is your worth? What is your value? How much should a person charge? You know, there are these little Slovak like wafer cake bar thingies called horalki. Slovaks don't know what I'm talking about. Like a wafer biscuit that you can buy in little local shops and supermarkets. Sometimes it's priced at around 25 cents. Sometimes it's priced at around 50 cents. I paid 60 at the weekend actually in the aqua park for one. How do you value it? How do you value it? Would you pay even more? How is it marketed? Is it marketed at the low end or high end? Are they trying to keep the price as cheap as possible, or are they not worried about the price? Is the price cheap because it's not full of quality? Or is the price cheap because they sell so many of the product that they can lower the price? So all things to think about. One of the most important things is probably when you value yourself to think about experience. How much experience have you had in what you're doing? And can you justify the price for the experience? Can you justify how much you're asking for? I think another thing is success. If you look at success that you've had, and if I look at success in terms of the school over the 12 years that Native Speakers Academy has been open, we have maybe helped around 1,000 clients, and I can only think of about 4 or 5 times when I've said to students, look, there's not much I can do for you. I recommend that you go to another establishment. And I help the students to find another school. I help the students to find another teacher for themselves, because it's what good people do. You don't just throw people back out onto the street and say, I don't want your business, me. The guy yesterday in the aqua park is like, get out of the aqua park, we're closing. And I said, but look, there's still people, get out of there. Like, I think, trolls. He looked like a troll, he talked like a troll, he acted like a troll. Perhaps there are trolls. Who knows? So, and then he trolled off to be a troll somewhere else. And so the experience and how you apply and how you project your experience into your work is also of importance as well. Experience doesn't mean you're going to be great, but you shouldn't be having the experience if you're not growing in terms of skills and development. A person should not be older if they're not going to be wiser at the same time. More people should apply that as well into what they do. So those are my thoughts on values. How do you value yourself? I don't value yourself. I don't know. I mean, do you go by your friends' values of you? And the aim here is not to provide answers to everything. It's just to think things through. Think things through carefully. There's not just one answer to every question. There's not just one solution to every problem. There's a million different ways to do things. Look at a football match. No two football matches are exactly the same. Perhaps they ought to be, but they're not. So that's the nature of human interaction. I'm only mentioning football because I watched the European final last night. I watched the last part of it, and just goes to show that sometimes you can't predict some of the things that are going to happen. Anyway, this has been Native Speakers Academy live and on air for today. I will take questions from people in the future. There are two ways to go through questions. You can leave a comment under the video. You can leave a question about anything related to life that you'd like me to talk about, or you can leave a question about anything related to teaching, education, and grammar that you'd like to talk about, whether it's state schools or homeschools or whatever. I will try to give you some advice. Or if you'd like to Skype, that's also possible. We can Skype, record the Skype, and put the Skype out live as a little conversation for people to hopefully pick up some useful information from. And that is just about it. This is a session in between sessions as I record these when I have a few moments, a few unscripted moments when clients are not here and they're live, which means that anything could happen at any point in time. The directions can always change. As usual, leave your questions under the video if you've got any questions, and I will get back to them. These are still tests. I'm still running tests because I'm still not sure of the final format that I'm going to use if I'm going to put out these live videos. Let's see how it goes and which way the work and the information flows. Thank you very much for paying attention. I'm going to fade out of you and do the little technical things I need to do to finish the session. Wherever you are, have a great week. It's only Monday. Enjoy. Why is this not fading out? Technology, huh? Could this be it? Ah, that'll be the very fellow. Thank you very much for paying attention. Take it easy.